This is a Thunder Game Report.
Hi, I'm Randy Renner at Chesapeake Energy Arena. The Thunder beat the Bobcats tonight, 116-99. It was a struggle for a little while, but the Thunder played some outstanding defense in the fourth quarter, and their big three, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka, all had big games, and Reggie Jackson did too. Russell Westbrook had one of his best shooting nights ever as a member of the Thunder, hitting 10 of 12 and scoring 26 points. KD had 28 points, Serge Ibaka with 15, Reggie Jackson with 17. We had a chance to talk with head coach Scott Brooks and also Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant in the locker room.
I thought Russell really had a great command of the game. I think it's good to see him continue to get his game legs under him and give the staff a lot of credit. They've putting him in a position to get better day by day. But I thought he really controlled the game tonight. He only had 5 assists, but I thought easily could have been 5 or 6 other ones. We got fouled on some of his great passes around the basket. So.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman. We talked a lot about the big lineup pregame, but down the stretch you went with the small guys, 3-point guards and Durant and Ibaka. What did they specifically do tonight to get the job done and break open the game?
Well, I thought we did a great job just rebounding the basketball. They had 0 offensive rebounds in the first half and only 2 for the game. That's the versatility that we have. We can play a small, big, a hybrid lineup, a super small lineup. We haven't played a super big lineup yet, but I think Kevin gives us the flexibility there because he can guard multiple players, and he can play 4, 3, 2, and sometimes he can play the 1. But I thought our defense was good in that fourth quarter. We really dialed in. They shot a 44%, which was good for the game.
You mentioned Russell having his legs back under him. Is that kind of steal and dunk maybe the snapshot that shows you, athletically he looks fully back?
Well, I think when he first came back, he was ready to come back. But as we all know, games are different than practice, and practice are different than shoot around. So it's just the continued to work that he's going to continue to put in some of the games that he has under his belt now. You just get a feel for the game. The speed of the game is, he's at a good place right now. He's at a place that we're very comfortable with. And yes, that steal and the dunk was, that's vintage Russell. He has the ability to change the game both ends of the floor. I loved his defense tonight. He was really getting in. Kemba Walker. Walker is as quick as any guard in this league, and he's having a great year. But I thought Russell's activity was good.
Charles Thompson, Prairie Broadcasting. Coach, this team probably about as best as anyone. What would you say overall with team continuity with Russell back and the flow of the offense and defensive end? What would you say that would be at?
I think it's pretty good, actually, considering, we've had a couple of different things happen. And one thing I like about our group, we've never talked about it in our locker room. We never talked about it on our practice floor. We don't talk about it during timeouts. But we had some changes. Russell's coming back. Topple's out. Perk was out. The guys don't use that as an excuse. But the continuity, I think, is good right now, considering all that's taken place within the last 2 weeks or 10 days. I'm happy with the guys that they've done. They've stepped up and bit by bit. I thought Perry came in, gave us some good defensive minutes, and in the second half, I thought he came in, was active, attacked the basket for the dunk. But everybody's chipping in. That's what good teams do. You have to have everybody sacrificing.
Dave Garrett, 107.7 The Franchise. Scott, would you talk about Perry's start and with Perry and Steven, maybe not what they had in the stat line, but what you liked or observed in their start?
I think, first I like Perry's his length on the defensive end. His athleticism in transition is good. Like I said before the game, that position, I'm going to tinker a little bit with that position. It might be game to game. It might be a couple of games here. But I think the minutes that he gave us tonight were real good. And Steven, he's learning every day. And not only is he learning what we're doing, he's learning who he's guarding. And I thought he did a decent job. I mean, that kid, Jefferson, is hard to guard. He's hard to guard. He has a lot of moves. He's one of the best low post scorers in the game with his pump fake and all of his up and unders. And he got him a couple of times, but that's somewhat expected with the experience that Steven has right now. But I think his minutes so far has been good.
Stephen, sorry, John Sagan, North South. Stephen's propensity to foul is a weakness, obviously. What are you doing to remedy that?
Say that again.
His fouling is a problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had a stretch. He had a stretch in the middle, maybe 2 months ago, where he fouled a couple of times or a couple of games in a row. He fouled out. It's one of the things that we're not worried about. A lot of times, referees have to see him how he plays, and vice versa. I think, and he has to understand what the referees are calling. He's learning as the game is coming to him, and as the practice times that he has on the practice floor. But I think he's done a good job with that. He hasn't tonight. He fouled a little bit, but the fouls that he committed tonight, those are aggressive fouls. Those are the ones that we want. We don't want the ones that he's late in his pick and roll coverage. We don't want the ones that he's late to protecting the rim. If you protect the rim and get into the pick and roll coverage early and you get fouls, there's good players in this league. There's a lot of talented offensive players.
Nick Gallo, Thunder.me.com. Coach, you had the big run midway through the third quarter when they cut it to basically one possession game. What in your mind fueled that defensively?
Well, I thought Fish got in there a few times, and he helped when we doubled down low on Jefferson, got a steal, and then I thought then we started playing physical basketball. I thought that middle of the third throughout the fourth quarter, it was a good defensive mindset that we had. But that's we're getting back to it. It's a little slower than we all want, but it's nothing that we won't get back to.
Coach, Brian Henderson with KADS. Can you talk about Hash a little bit? We hadn't seen him for a while, and in the last couple of games he's had some serious minutes. Talk about him and being back in the mix. It's great.
I'm very happy with what he's done. He's done a great job of staying mentally ready, and it's hard. Sometimes you take it for granted by not playing, and he's on an NBA team, but it's hard mentally to stay focused and stay sharp and wait for your turn. But he has done that as well as I've seen anybody do it. He comes with great energy every day in practice. Every game his enthusiasm level for the teammates are just remarkable every night, and I'm glad that he's played well during the time. But he's earned it. He's worked for it, and he's with the work that he's put in with our staff, that he's done a great job of staying in shape. But his minutes tonight were he had so much some energy and activity, and he was getting deflections, blocking shots. But that's what we expect out of him, and he's done a great job.
Well, Russ, Coach has been talking about getting that defensive effort all the way through into the fourth quarter. Tonight, you guys hold them to 18 points in the fourth. What was the biggest difference?
Just being consistent. They did a good job of being more physical, locking in on getting stops every time down the floor.
For you particularly, you seem to be really in a flow. Started out 8 from the field. How'd you feel out there tonight?
Just trying to take my time, and whenever shot is given to me, try to take it, but at the same time, just take my time and knock them down.
Take your time even when you were running down the court for that tomahawk dunk?
Well, that time I kind of just turned it up a notch, but still take my time.
What does it say that you guys have 2 guys out of the starting lineup tonight, and each guy steps up? I know it's a
tough road for us, but great Hash, Perry, Reggie, Jeremy. Those guys did a great job of coming in and just doing their role. So.
You're kind of 17 from 3 the last 4 games. Are you really kind of feeling rhythm with that outside shot?
I wouldn't say that, but I'm just if the guys go under, I just gotta make them respect it, take my time, and try to knock them down.
What's the biggest difference between how you felt tonight and how you felt your first game back?
I mean, just more I play, the more rhythm I'm able to catch and more rhythm I'm able to get. So.
The Karan Butler signing was official. What do you think he can give you, especially on the top end?
I mean, he's a veteran. He's done a great job, in this league thus far. He's a great shooter, and he's a good guy from what I hear, and great to have him aboard.
How did it feel to be able to get a dunk like that in a game situation?
Good. I mean, it's great. I haven't dunked in a while, but so it was great to get one of those out the way.
Russell, are you enjoying playing with Steven Adams?
Definitely. Steven is a great guy. He's fun. He sets screens. He's real active as a big man.
What does it mean to this team for Russ to be able to come out and be efficient like that and be dominant like that?
I mean, he's always been dominant.
he didn't lose his skills when he went out. He had to get a rhythm. Every player, if you miss that much time, you got to get a rhythm for the game. Timing is right. So tonight he was phenomenal. He was great. That dunk capped it off, and he was aggressive all night and playing downhill on the pick and rolls. He was just great tonight. It was good to see.
You guys kept him off the offensive glass, held him to only 2, but you were also able to get out and run. What factor did that dynamic play?
We had them shooting jump shots. They hit some early on, but that's not their identity. They want to get down in the paint. But I think we did a good job of closing that off and making them shoot jumpers. And sometimes you got to live with the contested ones. So that's what we did. We didn't get discouraged, and we just kept playing. And fourth quarter defense was better.
Kevin, what do you think about Perry Jones starting?
It was good. I mean, he came out aggressive. Defensively was good. And he's just growing each and every day, man. His confidence is growing from him starting, I think. So we just got to keep it up.
What do you think about, other than his stat line, just a mentality and what it takes to get out there first?
We don't look at just stat lines here. That could be very deceiving. Like Hashim, I thought he was great tonight. He didn't score. He had 5 fouls. That looked bad in the stat sheet, but he played a phenomenal game. Just with his energy, his effort, his physicality on the pick and rolls. In the post, and Perry did the same thing, just using his length. He had a huge dunk. I think that gave us some momentum a little bit, and he played hard. So numbers can be deceiving.
Kevin, you mentioned that fourth quarter defense. You had the big burst after they cut it to like a 1-possession game. What fueled that burst in your mind?
We just had to get good offense. Coach drew up some great plays for us in the fourth, and I think that gave us a little bit of energy. We closed the paint up, and we made them, shoot over hands, and we did a good job of scrambling. And they had to shoot a few with 2 or 3 seconds left on the shot clock. So once we do that, man, we use our length and just show a presentation on defense, be in the stance. I think we're a good defensive team when we do that.
Kevin, what did you know about New Zealand before Steven Adams joined the team?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all?
Nothing. To be honest, I thought it was in Australia.
That was totally the wrong
answer. I'm all messed up on that one. I'm sorry, but he's taught me a little bit now.
Kevin, you started out pretty hot shooting-wise, but then in the middle you struggled a little bit. I mean, then at the end you did good as well, too. What's the best way to, overcome a poor shooting stretch, do you think?
Now, think about it. Just keep shooting. I get a lot of shots, man. It's gonna be nice when they feel like that. And I started off pretty hot, felt good. And then, I tailed off a little bit, and then I just try to do other things within the game to play to help my team win. Last game, I started off terrible and ended off well. So, it can happen sometimes, man. It's just all about how I fight through it. And my teammates kept encouraging me, and I was able to hit a few in that fourth quarter. So, it's just a part of the game, and I think that's the beauty of the game, just trying to fight through the obstacles and do what I can to help my team and, win. And I have an attitude, because I think I've grown since, 2 or 3 years ago where I would have an attitude of myself for missing so many shots, get down, and that affect my play. So I just try to keep my head up and, next time a shot comes through, just try to knock it down.
Anyone else? What did you think of the atmosphere of that Oklahoma State-Kansas game yesterday?
Oh, man, it was unbelievable. Nothing like a Texas game, but it was cool. It was cool.
Thanks, Kevin.
KD talking about the atmosphere at Gallagher-Iba Arena on Saturday night. Durant and Westbrook. I saw Andre Robertson there and many other members of the Thunder team. Head coach Scott Brooks was in attendance watching that OSU-Kansas game. And, of course, you also heard from Russell Westbrook and Scott Brooks. The Thunder is scheduled to practice tomorrow, and it's believed that Caron Butler will be with the team to go through that first practice. He could be ready to see some action on Tuesday night against Philadelphia. Of course, the Thunder now without Thabo Sefolosha. Sam Presti, the Thunder general manager, made that announcement today, said Tabo's probably going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Kendrick Perkins also out, of course. He has another 5 weeks or so to go. So the Thunder in this stretch now without 2 of their best defenders, probably their best defenders in Perkins and Sefolosha. We will be here and throughout as we keep going along. So keep clicking back at InsideThunder.com.